Hi everybody, so today I've got a good few things to show you, one which I cannot wait to try, and that is the new Fenty loose powders. I've picked up the two lightest shades of this. This will be a first impression. They've been sitting on my desk for a few days and I'm so excited to finally try these two. I've also picked up two of the MAC Skinfinush LIGHTSTRUCK. They both look exactly the same, but apparently they're different. So they have sort of lilac-y twists in one of them, and the other one has a bit more of a sort of galaxy twist, I think. Anyway, I can't remember exactly what I've got, but it's something along those lines. So I'm going to try one of those under foundation and then on top as a sort of highlighter, so to see the sort of different ways we might be able to use it. I've also got two of the brand new Lancome Idole Juicy Blushes to try today. Again, first impressions, haven't even taken these out of the box yet. And then to finish, we have another lipstick from Fenty. I say lipstick, this is one of their gloss bombs, so this is a gloss. This is a perfect autumn shade, this one, so I cannot wait to show you this one. I have tried this one before, I couldn't resist that one, it couldn't sit and wait. But anyway, that's everything I've got to show you, so I really can't wait to get started with all of this. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah, I'm 48, I'm not a professional, I'm just somebody who really loves makeup and beauty. And here on my channel, I show you the latest releases, my favourite looks, and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy this content, I do upload here several times a week, and I would be delighted if you did subscribe. It's very, very helpful to me. But if you're already subscribed, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate you. And my skin tones for looking at the shades today, I've got fair to light skin with predominantly cool undertones that do lean a bit neutral. I've also got blue eyes. Anyway, that's enough about me. Let's dive straight into this review. So because I've got literally nothing on my face right now other than skincare and prep, I'm going to start with one of these MAC Skinfinush LIGHTSTRUCKs. So like I said, I'll try it on one side of the face. I want to keep using foundations that I'm currently testing, and the least glowy out of all the foundations I'm testing from new releases is the one from Makeup by Mario. So that's the foundation I'll put on top of it. I won't particularly talk about that, but I will then show you how my face is looking on each side, so you can see whether or not when you put this all over the face, does it work as that sort of Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood glow filter that we're used to? Is it going to be like that? And what difference does it make when it's got a bit of a tone to it, like the lilac? So let's get some information about this product. It's, first of all, before I forget, how dare I forget this, I have my wonderful partnership with Rebecca on Not Fit for Print Beauty, who has already reviewed one of these, and her shade, by the way, is Bubbled Over. So she's already tested this in numerous different ways, and I've got a link to the video in my description below, so you can go straight to Rebecca's video if you haven't already seen it, and you can see her reviewing a completely different shade to mine. So please do head over there, and please do say hi to my wonderful friend and partner in beauty crime, Rebecca. Anyway, this is £32, you get 15 millilitres, a liquid highlighter with 24 hours of hydration, multi-use must-have which reflects lights from every angle, leaving your skin with a luminous gleam. 85% skincare ingredients and gives you a glass skin effect that lasts and lasts, it says. Comes in 9 shades, each turned on by a brilliant complex blend of radiant pigments and pearlescent particles, striking the perfect balance of luster, opacity and blurring colour. Mix it into your base, so you could mix it into your foundation is one option. Hit the high points of your face or wear alone for an all-over glow. Do you know what? I'm going to mix it into my foundation rather than put it on. That would be fun. I'd like to do that. I'll get my little mixing pot out. Something a bit different. This does not clog pores, suitable for all skin types, dermatologist tested. You get sheer buildable coverage, instant long-lasting glass-like shine, can be used on face, arms, legs and the décolletage area here. So I'm not going to do that today. Oh, no, maybe I should. I do have this sort of off-the-shoulder top, so maybe I will put a bit here. Why not? So the shades I've got, oh, here we go, let's try and read them now. I've got Lilac Haze, no surprise if you know me. So let's take a look. Here's the packaging. We've got a sort of, it's like, is it frosted glass or is that just the way? I think it is, yeah, frosted glass. It's a nice packaging. I like the lid as well with a sort of angled tip, so it's very nice, and it's got a good pump. So this is Lilac Haze. Oh, you can see the lilac, can't you? just a hint. It's not over the top. It's pretty. That is really pretty. And then the other one I've got is Glacial. So let's see what Glacial looks like. So here is Glacial. Not really picking up on anything other than a sort of icy, frosty highlighter with this one. Maybe that's what it, I mean, Glacial makes sense actually, doesn't it, with that? So this one has more of a pop actually than the Lilac. So this is definitely one that's going to really catch in the light, but it's the Lilac I'm drawn to, obviously. So I think I'm going to put some of this, if I just take this strap down, I'll put this here and we'll see how this looks. Oh, okay. I'll put it on my shoulder as well, seeing as this top shows my shoulder. Interesting to see if anyone notices today. My husband's home today, so see if he notices my very glowy shoulder. There we go, it looks very red and irritated at the moment. A hint of lilac. Let's just see how it looks throughout the video. I'll just leave my top as far down as I can to show you. Just looking at this Glacial one. Wow, that really is quite something. I think that one would have had more of a shocking effect on my shoulder than the Lilac. Should I try a bit of that as well? Why not? I'm not actually going out today, so if I look completely bonkers, I'll just put this on the shoulder. So we've got the Lilac on the neck area, and then we've got that, yeah, you can see that one's got more of a pop, definitely more of a pop. So Glacial is on the shoulder. Wow, that one really does show up. That is really good fun for party looks, isn't it? Especially if you've got an open neck dress. I do like that. It doesn't pop quite as much as the one I tried from Fenty though, but it also doesn't feel as sticky at the moment, but I'll tell you how it feels when it dries down, because the Fenty one I had to powder because of how sticky it felt, so I'd be interested to see how it feels. So I'll put a pump of my Mario foundation into my mixing bowl, and I will add the Lilac. I think the other one is just too much, to be honest. So I'm going to add, I've got 1 pump of foundation and I'm going to go with 1 pump of the Lilac. So I'll mix these two together. I just use a little Q-tip to do this so they're equally mixed. So on one side of the face I'll be using that, and we'll see if it looks any different. Got my F1 brush from Mario, which quite literally since the day I got it to review the Mario foundation I have not put down. I've used it every day since. So this foundation is a very natural foundation, but it's not massively glowy, so that's why I'm thinking it could make quite the difference. It could also be a crazy level of glow because I'm putting the pump of this highlighter basically on one side of the face, which for mature skin could be a bit of a disaster. But let's just see. I can always rescue it with powder. We are testing the Fenty powder today after all. The only problem is I've mixed that 1 pump in and I can't use a full pump on this side of the face. I only need 1 pump of the Mario, and I have actually tried to add a bit more, but I really don't need much more. I'm not fully using up that full pump. So you could maybe, if you want to really go for the glow, you could maybe go a different way and have like half a pump of foundation and then add your 1 pump, because adding the highlighter has really extended the amount of product that's going on my face, so I can't really use it all up. Anyway, this is the side with it. I certainly do look very glowy, don't I? Look at the side without, but then my skincare is giving me a glow as well. So let's put my Mario on the other side and we'll see if we can see a difference. And I would imagine as well that the coverage is quite diluted doing that. You can see straight away I'm getting a lot more coverage from the side that I didn't mix it. Florrie's agreeing with me, as usual. I certainly prefer the side without because I'm getting the coverage I want from the Mario. But anyway. Another thing to think about if you do that, if you want to turn your foundation into something lighter, more of a sort of skin tint level, adding something like this will do that, as well as adding the glow. So there we have the two sides without the Lilac highlighter and with. Can you see more shine on this side? There is more glow. Definitely more glow on this side. as there should be with that much highlighter, but I didn't go for the glowiest of the two, so do remember that. So we will come back to those highlighters right at the end. I'll add them on the top parts of my cheeks so we can see how they look. I don't know if we could add them to lips as well actually, but anyway, I'll have a think about that at the end. I'll just do my contour and concealer and then we can look at these powders for setting. So I've gone in with all that, so it's time now to try the powders. I just wanted to very quickly show you that when I ordered from the Fenty site, I'm sort of slowly going through their skincare range to try them all because everything I've tried I really love. So I've picked up the Instant Reset Overnight Recovery Gel Cream, and because I bought one of their skincare products, they gave me some freebies, so I thought I'd just share those with you. So this comes in a refillable packaging. Completely new to me, this cream. I'll start trying this one out tonight, I think. So I'll report back if I'm getting on well with it. There's the cream. Nice thick cream by the looks of it, which I really like, that sort of rich thick cream for overnight recovery. So that just slots into the base there. Then with the packaging, it's got this little lid here. You just press down on that to scoop your product out. So that is superbly cool packaging. Love that. So if you don't like to get cream on your fingers, and you won't lose your little spatula, because I love it when Tatcha have those little spatula things. If they don't have the clip in the top, which they don't always on all of their products, you just tend to lose them. So that's really clever. Fenty, so cool. So yeah, I got this big bag free with my purchase just because I added skincare. So this feels like a sort of waterproof bag, so toiletry bag maybe. That is going to hold plenty. I find these bags so helpful, especially for putting my skincare in. Actually, I've got, if you saw my bed, honestly, I've got about 6 bags with different skincare routines in each bag, so I can swap between. So I'm always testing out new skincare. So then we have this sort of microfiber cloth for the face. Lovely. Lovely to have a freebie. And saying about a freebie, I actually got one with the MAC order as well. So all I ordered from MAC were the 2 highlighters, but I got this. So this is a nice little bag. And then inside here, there is a mini strobe cream, pink light, so a mini one. A full size, is that a full size? Let me look at the one I've got here. No, it's a mini, okay, but it's still big. So this is, it's not the elevated, it's the max stack in black. So a bit smaller, so good for travel. And then we've got a full size, is this eyeliner or lip liner? Costa Riche. I don't know if I've already got that, but I know I've heard of it. This is an eye colour. I'll show you what this looks like. Perfect colour for this time of year. So I'll put that into my eyeliner collection and make sure I make use of that. But I thought that was a really nice freebie from MAC, really nice. Anyway, let's now go into these setting powders. So I'll try lavender one side, pink the other for everything, rather than say lavender under the eyes and then pink all over the face. I want you to see how these both work in case you're wondering which shade to get. So hopefully that'll help you if you're light skinned, fair skinned anyway. So the details on this is it's £28 and the lavender one is for light with cool undertones, and the strawberry milk is light to light medium with cool pink undertones. So in theory, they probably will both work for me. Swipe on light as air setting powder that extends your makeup wear, defends against sweat and humidity, and mattifies shine while diffusing the look of pores. It comes with one of the Fenty puffs. I love this shape puff. It reminds me of the Rare Beauty one, which I used repeatedly after getting. So that looks like a good puff to be getting with your powder. We usually get rubbish ones with these powders that I never use, but that one is definitely a usable one. So there we have the lavender. Here is the case. This is £28. When you think what you pay for some of these, that really is very, very good, isn't it? So this says, shout out to the Superfine powder that stands up to anything. This lightweight waterproof finisher extends your makeup whilst defending against humidity and sweat. High performance ingredient packed formula has hyaluronic acid and features a blend of soft focus and mattifying powders to blur the appearance of pores, Plus we have chia seed extract to help with all day shine control. It's non-cakey, smooth texture formula and feels undetectable on the skin. And with Fenty you always get 100% cruelty free. So we're getting 30 millilitres of product here, and I'll pop up a picture now of the ingredients in these. These are talc free from what I can see. I can't see talc in these ingredients. And they did have a powder that came in virtually exactly the same packaging, so I don't know if this is the reformulated version of that. I would imagine it probably is, probably just removing talc, I don't know. But I did like the previous one, I did, but I'm so impressed with the recent powder I got, the pressed version. If you know me, I mean, you only have to look at it to see how much I use and love this pressed powder, which I also have in Lavender. I use this mostly for T-zone and under the eyes all the time. I love it. So let's get the other one out. I might use a puff today. I haven't used a puff for ages. I've only been using brushes, but for under the eyes I'll stick with my normal brush. So I'm going to start with T-zone only, because then I'm going to go in with the Lancome blush on both sides on top of cream. Then I'll use the powder to do the full face, going over the Lancome blush, so we can see how the blush performs on top of powder as well, and how the powder performs both ways. So it's a good way to test both out really. This is how it's distributed, so just tap some into the cap, I suppose. One thing as well is it looks like you can twist this. There's two little grippy things here, and you can twist it to lock it so that if you travel you can stop it coming out. So that's a really good idea. How many have thought of that? Not many, let's be honest. So I've got my Nikki LaRose N14 brush. Let me zoom you in to show you how this looks as a setting powder under the eyes, starting with the lavender on this side. So this is the lightest in the entire range, the lightest out of the two I'm showing you obviously. So this is going to be the most brightening shade, reasonably brightening I'd say. That is very smoothing, very smoothing, very blurring. We're off to a good start. Anyone who tried the pressed powder probably is quite excited about trying this one, I would imagine, because surely they've got to be the best combination ever. If you use this to set the face and the pressed powder to set under the eye. But also it's nice to just have one product that does it all. So if this does it all, then you don't need to reach for the pressed, which is why I want to test it to do both. So I'm just setting the T-zone. I've got quite a lot of powder because that tap that I did into the lid got quite a lot. It's really mattifying as well. You can really see where I don't have powder and where I do there. See that's quite striking, isn't it? So I'll use a little bit on the puff that's being provided and I'll tap off. So soft. I'm just going to take it there because I want to keep this part of the cheek completely powder free. So we have the lavender side. Oh gosh, it feels silky soft. It really does feel beautiful. And it's, it looks a little bit cakey there, but that's nothing to do with the powder. That might be me mixing that highlighter in with the foundation, because it's not looking as bad on that side. But anyway, that's a different note. Powder is incredibly blurring and soft, really soft, really smooth. I've hardly used any actually. I've still got loads in my lid from that first tap in. So that's the lavender side. Let's try the pink side. So this one is strawberry milk, so this one should be less brightening. Well, it says for cool undertone, so it should be warmer. You can see straight away it's given me a different tone. You've got the lighter there, which is why I think I prefer lavender all over the face actually. But I think I can use pink, so I probably alternate. I think I'd be using my pressed lavender under the eyes and then the pink all over the face. It depends on time of year and what makeup I'm wearing as well. Sometimes I want that sort of pink powder finish. This is going to last because I get through powder like you wouldn't believe. I use loads of powder because I hate tackiness, and I'm not using much of this, and everything is so smooth so quickly with just a little bit of powder. Yeah, this side looks better. This side is definitely looking cakey, so that tells me mixing in that highlighter with the Mario foundation is not a good move. This side looks much better. So that's answered that question. Even if it does look better, which I'm not convinced it does, I don't think I'll be doing that again. So the pores on both sides of the nose are really blurred out now, and you can see that this side is just that little bit warmer and then cooler. So there we are. I'll leave those powders as they are now, but we'll go back to them at the end. Let's now look at the two blush shades I've got from Lancôme. And before I do, let me tell you the shades that Rebecca has. I think Rebecca has already shown these as well, and I think I've put the link in my notes. I'm just checking. Yes, I have. Rebecca has the shades 80, which is the cherrier, and she has 30, which is over the coral moon. So we have a much more warm peachy shade with Rebecca and the deeper cherry. So Rebecca has tried both of those on, and I've linked below the video, so you can go straight to watch that if you'd like to see two more shades from Rebecca. And the shades that I've got are Pink Oh La La and 40 Mauve Not the Groove. Anyway, this is £33. You get 9mm in here. You can apply this direct to the cheekbones or the bridge of the nose, it says. Why or? I would imagine both. But anyway, this one must be Ooh La La, which I really like that shade generally. This is also 85% serum-based formula, enriched with niacinamide and vitamin E, leaving your cheeks hydrated and radiant with a cheek plumping effect. But it gives you a soft matte finish, which does seem to be the new trend at the moment, doesn't it? Be interesting to compare these at some point with the ones we got from Dior. So here is the packaging. So we have frosted glass. I do always enjoy the packaging from Lancôme. Very tasteful, very elegant. And this is how, oh, the doe foot's huge. It looks like a lip oil doe foot, doesn't it? Nice and soft. There's Ooh La La, beautiful shade. This is 40 Mauve Not the Groove. Completely different shades here. I don't know how I'm going to work this to make me not look bonkers trying both of these. But that is Mauve Not the Groove. Gorgeous shade for the autumn. So let me shear them out a bit on my hand so you can see how they look. So there they are. Very different, but I love this shade. How's that called Mauve though? Because it's so like sort of browny orange, almost terracotta. I got the wrong one. No, I've got number 40. That is weird, it does not look remotely mauve. Is that why it says not after it? Mauve not? It's actually the groove, it's not mauve, I don't know. Anyway, let's just put one dot of this Ooh La La, and I'll use the small end of my Mario 04 brush to see how this goes. This is now going on top of foundation, not on top of that powder yet, but we will try that next. So that small dot is blending in very, very easily. Pretty much disappeared. Can you see it? I can't see anything there. Let me do another dot. No, it's starting to pop now. This is the lightest shade in the collection. A shade that I really like actually. As I said, it's my favourite from the sort of blush shades I've seen in the past, the Ooh La La. Lovely cool tone shade. That is actually really nice. It's going on very well. I don't immediately get that instant blurring fabulousness that we get with the Dior actually, but it is blurring and it does sit quite beautifully, and I'm getting quite the shine there, whether that's because I've got the highlighter on underneath the foundation or whether it's just giving that pop of radiance, but I'm definitely getting a shine, a sort of natural shine. Maybe that is to do with having the highlighter underneath. So let's try the other shade now. I'm wondering if at the end I will be able to mix these two together, because I am going to look so different on each side. These are not two colours I would choose to put together normally. So this one has more pigment, but again it's fading out quite easily and blending in really easily. These are very easy to work with. I have a fair bit of time, it's not that sort of instant dry down. And the way these are working, very similar to Dior, to be honest with you. I think you could probably get any shade you like. So if there's a colour you like, you're going to be able to work with it, because look how much that has just pretty much not disappeared, but it's blended out, which I actually really prefer in a blush because you don't want to be out of control. I have added quite a big dollop there. I might get myself out of control having just said that I won't. Obviously you can put this on the back of your hand, work it into the brush, and not just do what I've done, which is add way too much. Let's take the bigger end of this brush and see how easy it is to repair this. It's pretty easy to fix, to be fair. This is a very user-friendly product, very easy. I still feel like there's a bit of radiance on this side, so maybe it is just giving that sort of natural radiance. It's just not immediately got that wow factor that the Dior has for me. The minute I put the Dior one on, I think, oh, that's amazing. It's so blurring and beautiful. This one's easy to work with. It does what it needs to do. It's not a bad blush. It's just not a wow blush. That's my immediate thoughts. So, Ooh La La and Mauve, not the group. Definitely think this suits me better, but I love this shade as a sort of autumnal look. I think what I will do, well, I won't do anything. I'll leave both sides because we're going to try them on top of powder. So now let me take the powder on the puff and I'll put lavender across the top of the Ooh La La side. So I'm putting my puff into what's left there in the lid, tapping off a bit, and now I'm going to take this. So soft, this puff, it's lovely. It's like silk. This powder is really nice. Really, really, look how smooth. That's honestly, oh wow. It feels so smooth. It feels like silk. Look how blurring and perfect that is. Ooh, Fenty. I just love Fenty. I just love them. As you know. Oh, that is so good, honestly. I love it. Absolutely love it. So I'm going to take the other end of the same puff rather than, did I use the other puff earlier? No, rather than dirty in the other puff, I'll just take the other end and I'll take the strawberry on this side. So this is going to be warmer generally because it's going over a warmer blush as well. Just, you really don't need a lot. I think this powder is going to last a long time. I love the YSL powder, but I do use a lot of it to get rid of that sort of tacky feeling. This seems to do the job instantly with that tiny little bit. So it's cheaper and it works. You need less. Win-win. And it's so soft and blurring. It's absolutely beautiful. Fenty's powders, they've got potential for taking over from YSL. YSL became my #1. I will definitely use these now throughout the month quite easily and quite happily, and I will report back to you at the end of the month and let you know if I think that they've taken over. I will maybe do some comparisons, even doing the pinky one I've got the blue one as well, so I could try the blue YSL versus the lilac Fenty, and I could try my pink YSL versus the strawberry Fenty and see which side I prefer. I might do that at some point, and if I think there's any interesting information from that, I will show you in a video at some point. But for now, absolutely gorgeous. So let's now see if we can get this blush to work on top of the powder. And I think because I don't want to look crazy, I am going to now take the Ooh La La on both sides. I hope you don't mind. I do have another video to film. And if I have two very different side cheeks, I am going to look a bit bonkers. So I'm going to go with Ooh La La on the end of my F4 brush, which I've just worked into the back of my hand. And now taking it here on top of that mauve. And it's working absolutely fine on top of powder. It's definitely got a bit of radiance to it, hasn't it? Because it's brought, the powder obviously took down any sort of radiance I might have had. And then there's a pop of radiance there. For sure. It's definitely not a flat matte. In fact, I prefer the way it looks on top of powder than I did with it on top of cream. I don't feel like it's moved or lifted anything either, so that's good. It's a flexible formula. And seeing as it suggests the nose, I do like to do this, especially with a colour like this, which is sort of quite a natural flush of pink for me. Oh, that's a bit much on the nose actually. Maybe a bit too much there, but yeah. Oh, I love it. So the last thing to try on the face anyway, because we do have that Fenty lip, are these highlighters as actual highlighters. So do you think you can see any difference with this side where I've got that lilac highlighter mixed in with the foundation compared with this side? It's a bit hard for me to tell. I think I'm only likely to notice when I go back and edit this video, so I don't think there's much of a difference from what I'm seeing at the moment. But anyway, I'm going to put Glacial on this side. Well, this is the one that has much more of that pop, so I'm putting a little bit on the back of my hand here, and I'm going to use the same F4 brush I've been using for the blush, work it into my hand and then put it here on top. Yeah, that gives quite the pop, doesn't it? Take it down the nose. It's a lovely sort of natural highlight though, it's not over the top at all. It looked crazy when you saw it on my hand, but I did put a lot of it there. I think if you're someone who doesn't like those highlighters that really make your texture stand out, something like this is a really light way of popping a natural glow in. So let's pop the lilac one on the other side to see if we can see a little bit of the lilac when I turn my face, which would be good. I don't know if you will, but anyway, take it with the F4 as well. Putting it on this side. I prefer the lilac, definitely prefer the colour. Yeah, you can just see it there, can't you? It's not over the top. It's certainly not as lilac-y as something like the YSL Lilac or Lavender highlighter. But that is very nice. And let's look at it now here on my shoulder. It's nowhere near as tacky as the Fenty. Nowhere near. It's not completely gone. I can still feel it a bit, but I'm not feeling like that burning desire to put talc on or something to try to dry my shoulder out. So it's not bad at all actually. It's a lot better than the Fenty. I loved the look of the Fenty, but boy was it sticky. So if you wanted that Fenty one, but you found it too sticky, this could be a good option for you. And you can get different colours because there's a lot more colour options with this one. So yeah, if that's the sort of thing you like, I would definitely recommend it because I love the way it looks on the cheek. The only thing I wouldn't recommend is mixing it in with your foundation because I did get that caking there. So now the last thing to show you is the Fenty lip. So we have this new shade which is Rose Amber in the Gloss Bomb Universal Lip Luminizer. You may have already seen this in a shorts reel I've put out. This is a really, really good shade for the autumn. So I've got a little bit of a brown lip liner on. I'm using the Cacao from, is that how you pronounce it? From Westman Atelier. Look at this shade. Absolute perfection for autumn, it really is. Oh, I love it. And as always, we're getting the sparkle, the sweet fragrance, which I love. Isn't it beautiful? This could be a nice topper as well if you want to add it as sort of hydration on top of a very dry matte or on top of a lip stain. If you want to really ramp something up, if you've got a brown shade maybe. But as a standalone on its own, it's perfect for just using all day, every day with most autumn looks. It's a lovely shade for the autumn. And there's another shade coming out as well, which I will grab the minute it's available. I can't remember what it's called, but it's another sort of autumnal shade. So there we are, that's everything I've got to show you for today. I would say pretty much everything has been a big success. The only thing that I wasn't drastically impressed by was probably the blush. It's nowhere near as good as the Dior one in my opinion, and it's not as good as the one from Too Faced, which I've also been trying out. So I think the Too Faced one is as good as the Dior one. So that's the best value, except the amount of product you get is slightly different. But anyway, the Lancome one, it's good, it's just not wow for me. The Dior one is so beautiful and blurring, and so is the Too Faced one, but this one is just okay, I think. So unless it's specifically got a shade that you can't find in the Dior's or the Too Faced, personally I wouldn't rush out to get it. But if it does have a shade that you cannot get in any of those by any chance, then it's a good blush. It certainly is a good blush, and it's very easy to work with. It's just a bit, I'm not wowed by it. Anyway, these I think are really pretty, especially for me the lilac. I really do like the lilac, and I did like it as well very much using it here. So they're a definite yes for me. I think they're really, really good. And if that's a product you think you can make use of, I would recommend it. I think it's worked really nicely. Just don't mix it in with your foundation like I did, would be my recommendation, because it definitely caused some sort of problem. And I did think I noticed when I was putting it on a bit of pilling going on here, but because it was just a tiny bit, I thought maybe it was my imagination. But now I've seen this cake in there, I'm pretty certain it was arguing with something. So there might be an ingredient in it that argued with the foundation. So on top of it, as a highlighter, absolutely fine. But mixed in with the actual foundation, it did disturb it. So I wouldn't do that. Probably the best thing I've reviewed, even though I love this lip obviously, has to be the powders. I am somebody who's quite fanatical about a good powder. The lavender is my favourite. If you're my skin twin, I would go with the lavender. That's got the more brightening finish. But the strawberry worked very well as well, so I think maybe for me the strawberry one would probably work better if I'm doing sort of summer, more rich looks, especially if I had a tan on. But for my skin tone, lavender's the best, but I can work with the strawberry. If by any chance you pick up both, you can do a few things, like you can use the lavender under the eyes and you can use the strawberry over the face. You can mix the two together. I did that with YSL once, quite good fun, tapping both into the lid and then sort of creating your own sort of shade. And if you're obviously adding the lavender to the pink, will just make it that bit lighter, but also vice versa, making the lavender that bit warmer, I suppose, even though it's described as cool tone, but I do think it gives a slightly more warm finish, the strawberry. So yeah, packaging, beautiful. Finish, beautiful. Value for money, phenomenal. Fenty has come out with another absolute winner. They just keep doing it. They really do. I love Fenty. So is that everything I've looked at today now? I'm thinking, how many products have I shown you? We've talked about everything, I believe. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about everything I've shown you today. Have you picked up any of these products? Are you thinking of picking them up? What are your thoughts? I would love to hear them down in the comment section below. And if you've enjoyed this video, I would love it ever so much if you did hit the like button, and the subscribe button would be fantastic. But if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being here at the end of another review. I really do appreciate you so much for being here, and I really hope to see you all again for my next video. Take care everybody, bye!